Well, so we're here with Steve from 149 Group. You won our brand new Innovation Award for 2026. Amazing.
Thank you very
Congratulations. First time winners, which is amazing. Well, of this award, you've won many awards with us before.
We have, we've been very lucky.
Yeah. You're very good users of IntelliFlow Office. Tell us a little bit about where you were, what was frustrating you with your data, and how this has come about, really.
Yeah, I guess, like most firms, we spent lots of time configuring the system, trying to make sure we were future-proofing how we were using the system so that we could get the data that we wanted to be able to get out of it in the future. The main constraint that we had, as with most things, is at the time, a lot of the stuff was MI reports, static bits of data that you'd pull out of the system daily, weekly, monthly, whatever it might be. And then it was about trying to analyze, what is this Excel sheet telling us? Mm-hmm. And there'd be a lot of, running 3 or 4 reports off at a time and trying to merge them all together to show a bit of a picture, whether that's, advice cases and workflows that are in flight or, clients and their plans and their income. Again, there was never one report that did everything. So it was always a case of trying to, put all of these reports together and things like that. And again, it was very repetitive, downloading reports every day, merging them, cleansing them. So that was one of the real challenges we really faced.
Which isn't easy for everybody to do, is it?
No, absolutely. And again,
data together.
You try and do some things at a group level, then you've got locations wanting data in their way, individuals wanting to see data in a certain way. So it was a real challenge.
Brilliant. So when you realised what you could do with the BI dashboards, building your own dashboards on the system using AWS, what was that moment like? What changed for you? Yeah,
so it was it was a bit of trepidation because I'd looked at using Power BI previously outside of IO, never got to grips with it at all. I don't know what it was. I just couldn't work out how to get it to show what I wanted to show. All of the online tutorials just talk about retail sales and stuff like that. It's not really applicable to what we do. So again, I went in a little bit apprehensive and I very much tried to use it to replicate what we were doing externally. So, how can I, instead of downloading a report, putting it into an Excel dashboard we built, how can I replicate that? And that's what I used to kind of learn the system. Going through that process, I very quickly realized that's not the best way to use the system at all. And there's so much more the dashboards can give us now. So that was kind of like phase 2 of using it and developing it. And again, I just lent really heavily on, Copilot and other AI tools to say, I'm using this tool in this system. Can you give me a bit of help? How can I put some coding together? So again, it's very much kind of learn as you go, but with a lot of support along the way from IntelliFlow.
Yeah. So what's changed, like, I suppose, on a day-to-day for you in the teams since building your own dashboards?
Yeah, I guess a couple of different ways of looking at that. There's looking at right at the top of the group and the MI that the board want to see. So again, we've been able to produce a lot more of that reporting where the board can see it virtually real time now. Within 15, 30 minutes it's being updated. Whereas before, because we knew how long it took to get all this data together for them, it was really, the start of every month we'd spend, the first day, half a day putting all the reports together. Now they can literally have access to all the dashboards we built, log in whenever they like, see what the current assets under management are, numbers of cases in flight, where the bottlenecks are. So from a board level, they've got all of that data at their fingertips. Again, we can now then essentially just clone that dashboard, simplify it slightly, make it more bespoke and give it to every location. So every location's got their own data now. And then again, you can take that, clone it even further, simplify it just by one planner, give the planner their dashboard.
By the roles,
so they can see all of their work, where it is, which power planner's got which case at which time. Everyone's got all of that data, as I say, virtually at their fingertips.
Yeah, a lot better visibility, isn't it? So when you realised what you could do, what you could actually build with these dashboards, what kind of helped you pull it off, I suppose? What helped you build these? Did you get any support along the way? Was there anything that surprised you?
Yeah, so like I say, I can't fault IntelliFlow for the support they've given us. It's a relatively new tool. Not that many people have been using it. So again, we that going in. You don't expect there to be this huge knowledge bank of questions that have already come up, things like that. But the developers that I've spoken to, they've been absolutely amazing and so really supportive, able to hop on Teams calls with me and do a bit of screen sharing and now help me kind of problem solve. I'm trying to get this answer. What's the best way to build a dashboard to give me that? So they've been brilliant. As I say, I've really lent heavily on AI as well in terms of using Copilot as a personal assistant. So just basically anything I want to, I just ask it in plain language. I'm trying to build a table that does this and gives me this answer.
Yeah.
These are the fields that I've got. How do I do it? What code do I build? So yeah, that's essentially the steps I've taken. It's just curiosity.
Yeah.
If you've got the hunger to kind of learn and try things out.
Trial and error.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think for us and probably for other firms, if you've already got an existing suite of data and dashboards you're using, being able to then build that and sense check, is it coming out with the same answers, gives you a lot of trust that, you're doing the right thing and the system's giving you the data in the way you're expecting to see
and
it.
I suppose it helped you with, and your data is in a very good space as a 149 group.
But a lot of work's gone into trying to get that data into a good
it also
space.
highlights where you need to have, and maybe some extra work go into that, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Having those dashboards, yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Like I say, there's lots of data. We've almost got a situation where we're so data rich, but before the dashboards, we felt really kind of insight poor is probably a nice way of saying it. So, these dashboards now are helping us slowly go on that path of having a lot more insight, real time. We can make decisions based on what the data's telling us rather than waiting to hear some feedback from a location saying we've got a bit of a bottleneck here. How much of that is true or not true. The data just gives us all of that ahead of time, and we're proactively able then to put steps in place before people even come asking for help.
Yeah. So where would you think you're going to head? Where are you heading next with these dashboards, and what are you looking to achieve next from this?
Yeah. So again, it's probably a dual approach of what does the group need to see in terms of data, and what do individuals and locations need to see. And again, we're very much trying to give the locations that are part of our group enough autonomy to be able to look after their clients the way they want, but in a really standardized way, so that all the risks are managed and there's consistency across the group. So trying to build a suite of dashboards that meet the needs of both, that's the big challenge. And that's going to come with the more we use the dashboards, the more the dashboards evolve themselves. The developers are working on it all the time, giving us new functionality. But that combination of Snowflake with all the data sets that come from it, and AWS QuickSight, which is like the dashboards you see and you can build, it's such a good combination. And it's just everything in that IntelliFlow ecosystem. That's exactly what we want. You just want one place with everything in it.
Yeah, you're able to make those changes quickly as well, aren't you? So if you get feedback from one particular site of we'd like to see something in addition to what we've already got, you can quickly go on there and make those changes pretty much live, can't you, for those users to see?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like I say, it's got a full versioning publishing system in the background. So, myself as the person making the changes, I can make a tweak, I can look at it before I publish it, and then I can publish it, but maybe not necessarily share it with a user. And again, you can share with multiple users. The functionality's endless, and we're only scratching the surface of it at the moment.
I think the stuff that you've done building the dashboards is brilliant, and the fact that you've kept with it as well, because I think so many people try some of this stuff and actually there is a learning curve with it. So the fact that you've stuck with it and continued to get the support from us, external support from there is a lot of external support out there as well, isn't there? The videos, tutorials on this.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I was definitely guilty of that with Power BI. I tried it a couple of times, gave up very quickly. It was too much aggravation, but this one, we got enough quick wins quickly. And you can clone an existing dashboard that IntelliFlow have built. And then just make some tweaks to it, add some extra bits
add
in that you want.
filters on and change some of that.
Yeah. So even if you want to start with that as a, clone the, the plans dashboard and just add a few bits that you think are missing or you would want to see in a different way, you could start with that at least, just to give yourself, some momentum, and then, slowly build on that. As I say, the collateral around dashboard authoring from IntelliFlow, it's in its infancy. There's not a great deal on Connect at the moment, but it's all going to come.
Yeah, I think looking at the submissions for the Innovation Award, yours stood out miles by what you've done. So well done, because you've done such a good job with it, and you've, like I say, you've persisted with it and really had those quick wins, and it's helped you kind of get where you are today. And we're glad that we've been part of that journey with you, really. So thank you.
Like I say, keep it coming. Keep the innovation coming.
Yeah, well, congratulations for winning.
Cheers, thanks a lot.
Lovely. Well, enjoy the rest of your day.
Will do.
Thank you.